welcome back to another podcast episode. You're joined again, of course, me and my co-host Benito. What's up, Ben? What's good?
What's good, Dee? What's good? What's good?
Yeah, man, all is alright. It's just unfortunate that we got this news that was released yesterday about Anthony, with some allegations that came up from his former ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And it's just a shame that, it has just been a roller coaster of bad events since the loss from Arsenal, Jadon Sancho's statement after Ten Hag's press release, and now, we're being slapped in the face with another one of our star players at Man United involved in some, bad behavior mishaps. Now, obviously, we're not saying that he's guilty. At the same time, we're not saying he's innocent. We don't know exactly what has happened. But we're just here to cover the story, just to keep everyone up to date with exactly what's going on. We're not going to cover much on the case. We're just going to let you guys know what is being said out there in the news, and we're just going to give our thoughts to exactly what we think will probably transpire from this news. So just to break it down, yesterday, the Brazil Football Confederation, the CBF, released him from international duty and
Yeah.
will not be part of the Brazilian squad. So the allegations are as follows from his former girlfriend. So her name is Gabriela Haviland, if I'm pronouncing that right. So this started last year. And apparently she claims that she was attacked by Anthony with a headbutt in a Manchester hotel room on the 15th of January, leaving her with a cut head, which needed treatment from a doctor. She also said that she was punched in the chest by Anthony, which he claims caused damage to a silicone breast implant, which required corrective surgery back in Brazil. Then later on the 8th of May, she was saying that she suffered from a cut finger while trying to protect herself, accusing Anthony of throwing a glass cup towards her as well as then taking her passport. She then filed a report with the authorities in Sao Paulo concerning the allegations of physical and verbal abuse by Anthony while on holiday in Brazil during June 2022 when she was pregnant, as well as making a separate complaint to Greater Manchester Police. So basically, these are the allegations which have come out. Anthony did release a statement on his Instagram story claiming that these allegations are false and that they're trying to deal with this matter at hand, basically for him to clear himself as innocent. Now, there has been some evidence that has been, leaked. I haven't seen this evidence, but apparently there was evidence of a WhatsApp conversation where there was some altercation between himself and the girlfriend. So, like we said, we're just here to report what we have read on the news. We don't know how far along these investigations are. We don't know exactly what's going on. So basically, this episode, we're just going to dive into um, we're just going to dive into what would transpire henceforth. Will he still be part of the Manchester United squad? Is there a possibility that he may be dropped from the squad, like Mason Greenwood, until the investigation is over? And if so, what does it look like for him moving forward in this Manchester United squad? And of course, what does it mean for the players that have been competing for his place on the squad? So yeah, over to you, Ben. Talk to me, man. What do you think will transpire after all this news has dropped on us?
Before I even go into that, the first thing that came into my mind when these allegations came about, like they surfaced now, the first thing that just came into my mind in a footballing sense is like, damn, our club just can't catch a break.
Yeah,
Like we're
yeah,
just dealing with so much.
yeah,
It's so annoying. Like we don't need this right now. As a
Mm.
footballing club, we don't need this right now. We just came out of something like this, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
With the Mason Greenwood situation. Like it's like, wait, how did we even find ourselves in this position? Like, what's going on at United? What kind of recruitment? Like, I get that this is Eric Ten Hag's player, but like, why do we seem to be attracting players that have issues? Now, I'm not saying
mm,
that, like, here, I'm not coming here to stay anything by saying that Anthony is guilty for what he did, but these are serious allegations to a player that
yeah,
just came into Manchester United. We just came off dealing with Mason Greenwood and his situation. Like that alone, like that separated the fan base alone. But for some reason, I don't think this one will separate the fan base that much because Anthony is Brazilian, so it won't really affect people as much. But it is a very serious situation. You talk about what you just mentioned, the allegations, and what's funny is when those reports were filed, like those allegations were filed, like when she claims things happen, these altercations, it's crazy to put like what I read. Like they said that they corresponded with games that we lost. Those intense games, like last season, those last games were very, very intense. The West Ham game, I think even the City game, and those are the games that they were kind of like mentioning. Like after those games, that's where these kind of altercations happen. And you look at Anthony, the kind of player that he is. He's a petulant kind of player. He looks like he has a short fuse. And then you try and connect this. It's in the minds of the fans. Like they're sitting at the back there thinking, "Wait, did this guy do it?" And if he did, like really, like didn't you came, like if he did, like you came into the club knowing that Mason Greenwood is going through something as similar,
similar.
like, and you can tell like how
Yeah,
serious it is. And then you I don't know, maybe he thought he was not gonna be caught, like maybe he thought his girlfriend wasn't going to speak because she's foreign. I don't know. But she's reported this. And now the Manchester police are now involved. When that happens, it becomes a serious problem because now he has to be suspended. Just like what they did with like in Brazil, like you mentioned, they've dropped him,
yeah,
right? He was
yeah.
supposed to
They
be
dropped it.
taking part. Yeah, they've dropped him. So Manchester United have to follow suit. If they don't, they are going to look so weird. Like they're going to look very, very awkward in this
Sus.
kind of situation. They really need to follow the example they have set with the way they dealt with Mason Greenwood. Now you look at the situation. Um, they're very similar, but at the same time different. I say this because Mason Greenwood's girlfriend or his wife or his fiance, she ended up they pulled the charges, which meant that this thing couldn't go any further because they found him innocent. You know what I mean? In
Well, they
Anthony,
didn't find him. They didn't find him innocent. There
oh
wasn't
yeah,
enough evidence, and a lot of the key witnesses dropped off from the case, so they never
yeah.
had enough to convict him. So they dropped the case.
So they dropped the case. So anyway, he
Yeah,
still walked free, even though people are looking at him like, "Yo, man, you might have did it because the evidence is there." Now with Anthony, the girl is filing charges. Like she's not playing around. Like, yo, this nigga blew my silicone. This guy hurt my finger. This guy did this. He headbutted me. Blah blah blah. Like she's sticking with it. She's reported it, not once, not twice. Like she kept on reporting this thing. So Manchester United need to follow suit. They need to punish him as well. Like, well, not punish him, but do exactly that they did. Suspend him and then do the investigation like they always do. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
No, yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah, I think definitely some action will need to be taken. So yeah, as we said that we don't know if he is innocent or guilty. So at this moment in time, we can't really say he needs to be punished, but suspension is not punishment.
It's not
Suspension
punishment.
is
Yeah,
basically what just keeping you on hold until we know exactly what's going on. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and yeah, they need to hold him off from being in the first team until this issue is resolved, until his case is settled, and then he can be brought back in the team if he's found innocent, or if not, then I guess they just have to follow suit with what they did with Mason Greenwood. So yeah, I mean, speaking of Mason Greenwood, obviously he has gone now to Getafe, and there's more news that has come out to say that he will be allowed to come back to the club, or he will come back to the club. I'll definitely get my facts right on that one. After a season, after a year, it's like he'll be eligible to come back to the club. But obviously, that's a topic for another day. But
No, you know what it is. You know what it is,
yeah,
D. So
yeah,
Greenwood's contract ends in 2026.
mm-hmm.
It ends in 2026, the summer of 2026. So
Okay,
the way they masked this whole thing, they said that they're terminating his, like, they're parting ways. He's
yeah,
still contracted to the club until 2026. That's why he's on loan to Getafe. You
oh,
check.
okay,
So
yeah,
the loan deal is okay, fine. This guy is going to go on loan maybe for a year, but in that loan, yeah, and apparently it happens in all loan deals, like a majority of loan deals. There's a clause that says that this player can return to his club after 6 months in January.
okay,
And yeah, and on top of that, United are going to be paying a significant amount of his wages while he is there. So
oh, okay,
yes, so in a way, I feel like Mason Greenwood is going on a sabbatical. He's literally going on a proper loan to go and see if he can get his football legs back.
yeah,
And but one thing for sure is Manchester United will not terminate his contract. He might leave for free. It'll be tricky towards the end. They might
yeah,
release him, or if they offer him another contract, it means that they're still interested in having Greenwood, or still getting some sort of profit out of Greenwood, because
yeah,
he will still not be allowed at United unless something changes. I am very hopeful, man. I am very hopeful. I am a Mason Greenwood boy. I love the boy. I'm excited for him. I told you I'm going to be
yeah,
watching all his games this season. I want to see him improve.
yeah,
So, and I saw his training, left foot, right foot. I'm excited. I'm excited. So
yeah,
I'll be keeping an eye on Greenwood, and if things change, I'll be happy. I really have my fingers crossed on him. The way Man United are handling this situation, it almost looks like he might come back. We just don't know yet. They're testing
yeah.
the waters. But I'm excited for that. I am.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now obviously with the possibility of Anthony not being involved in the first team,
Yeah.
what does it look like to you in terms of someone to replace him in his position? Because obviously we have Pelestri who's available. I don't know if Ahmed will be ready by then. And of course, we have our boy Sancho, who is
I'm
currently
so
involved
glad you
in his
asked me
own
this
drama.
question. Like, I'm excited to answer this question right now. Like, you know, Sancho must be sitting there and thinking to himself, like, what a stupid thing that he did. Because,
Mm,
in a weird way, like, he could be punished just because of his actions. Like, he might not see
yeah,
game time just because of his stupid actions, you know?
yeah,
And now this opens up an opportunity for a younger player. And my God, if this young player takes this opportunity and grabs it and
yeah,
goes with it, it's a wrap. It's going to be a
yeah,
wrap. Because remember, Sancho is not Eric Ten Hag's player.
yeah,
He's done all he has done to protect him and all those things and be with him. Him doing what he did yesterday has really rubbed him off. And apparently they're pissed off. They are
yeah,
angry with him. So I don't know. However, with Anthony, with the possibility of Anthony being suspended, it does now bring up, like, what we want to see, because it's strange. It's so funny how football works. You see how these gods work, bro. Like,
yeah,
we were we were frustrated with Anthony because of his end product. We wanted somebody that's going to come in there and sort that thing out. Now we are presented with a situation where Anthony is going to be moved from the club. I mean, he's going to be suspended, and then somebody else has to fill that position. Now it's all about who's going to fill that position. You know what I mean? Sancho can redeem himself. Like Sancho really needs to redeem himself, D. Like I am not kidding.
Yeah.
Like what he did. Ooh, the manager's gonna be like, cool. All right,
Yeah.
you went there, did your
Yeah.
thing, cool. Here's the position. The boy is gone. Show me what you got.
Yeah.
He's gonna be given
Yeah.
the time. And if he's given the time, he better grab it. If it's given to Facundo and Pelestri goes there and does the magic, it's a wrap, bruh. It's a
Yeah.
wrap. It's a wrap. And then he's going to wait for Ahmad. And then those kids are going to be exchanging each other. I'm telling
True.
you. And then he was gonna try and see how he fits him in. So, hey, man, I don't know. The gods are weirdly trying to uh, show the manager something that he might be missing,
Yeah.
because like, we've been complaining about stuff that we just don't get. Why is this thing? Why is
Yeah.
this thing? Why keep speaking Anthony? We want to see some sort of change.
Yeah.
Mason Mount, the thing with Mason Mount, we didn't get how that midfield was going to work. Mason Mount got injured. We're not wishing him bad, but we're just saying it's how strange it is. He brings Ericsson back in. The midfield is sort of stable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, it's I don't know. And yeah.
Yeah, man. Now I hear you, and it's so unfortunate that Sancho did what he did, and I'm pretty sure he's shooting himself in the foot right now,
Yeah.
saying if I just waited 24 hours, this could have hugely played in my favor. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, what has happened, and I honestly don't see him getting back immediately into the team,
Same here.
regardless if he apologizes. I think he'll need to earn his way back into the team, because I sort
Mm,
of feel if he does start, then it's just going to send out the wrong message
yes.
to the club and to the fans and to the players to say I can undermine the manager and
Eh,
still get back into the team.
aha. Pasta
So
D
I,
again. At it.
so as punishment, I think that he will not be involved in the games for quite a while. And like you said, it's just weird how football works sometimes. Of there's certain things that we see as the fans that are not is not working out, and it's not that we wish players bad harm or whatever or something you know um, malicious to happen to them in order for sort of like the fans to get their way.
Yeah.
But it's just coincidence that you know um, this
This is
story
what
has
we
broken out with Anthony. Sancho
Yeah.
pulled what he did, and a lot of the fan base have been calling for Pelestri to get a chance in the first team. So I think this is an opportunity for him to come through and prove himself.
Yeah.
You also mentioned that Sancho is not Ten Hag's signing, and I hear the argument in that
Mm,
statement,
mm,
but you know how I am, Ben. I'm
yeah.
I'm a very holistical type of thinker, and as much as I know it's an isolated situation, but I think it's also fair to say that a lot of the players are not Ten Hag signings. So I kind of feel like when we bring up such matters or bring up such statements to sort of back up our points, I kind of feel it's a bit harsh, because Bruno was not a Ten Hag signing, but we can't now have that sort of judgment towards him or any other player. You see, the manager came and he found the players. It's just unfortunate that it's not going his way with this certain player. And now it's being brought out to say, oh, he doesn't preference him because he wasn't a signing. Like, his signings were like, who are his signings? His signings were Anthony and Malacia. You know what I'm saying? And Malacia is not even getting game time. Even when he was fit, right? Luke Shaw came back into the squad and took his place. So yeah, with that sentiment, and I know you're not the first person who says, but a lot of people are saying it. Sancho is not an out signing this and that. I'm like, fair enough, but I also feel it's a little bit harsh to pull up that statement towards him. But anyway,
No,
it
D, can
seems
I
like
say something?
Pelestri.
Can I say something on that?
Yeah, yeah,
So you see, like you said, it's an isolated situation. And
yeah,
it's rather unfortunate because it goes back to that question that you were asking, that we were asking ourselves. Like we
yeah,
and the question that we thought Sancho might be asking himself is like, yo, this guy, you keep picking him, right? You keep picking him
yeah,
to be in and he's not putting out. Like he's not his
yeah,
output is not there. But you keep
yeah,
on picking him. So we now go back to that thing of like, okay, because every manager, like, and you know this, every manager has got that player that they brought in and they want them to come and succeed. So, like you
yeah,
said, it is an isolated situation, but it is there.
True.
Like it's there. We can't ignore it. It is there. Unfortunately, it's not the case with the other positions like Bruno and what because other positions are actually cemented. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if because when Ten Hag came in, he knew that Sancho was in the club. He still went ahead and bought in another right winger. Do you
Yeah.
understand? If he
Yeah.
didn't need Anthony, he would have stuck with Sancho. You see,
Yeah.
so now he has put that situation because it's like, okay, this is the player that I brought in to help this position. However, unfortunately, we are in this situation that we are in. And it kind
Yeah.
of like it's very difficult to ignore it because you ask yourself these questions. We think Sancho has got a better output than Anthony on a on any like on a good day, like on a Sancho good day. We know that. And then on an Anthony good day, we know that he's gonna put in a shift at the back. But we don't need him putting that shift at the back because we've got
Yeah.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka doing that stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
why you? Hey, so it's a
Now
tricky
I
one.
hear you.
It's
And
there. Yeah.
now I hear you. And the last point I wanted to bring up was, as much as we're excited about Pelestri getting a chance, we shouldn't forget that Pelestri is also another player that we've seen hasn't really been in favor of the manager. So he's also another player who has fell short of, you know, in certain games, maybe with certain players injured or missing, we thought or expected him to be starting and he didn't. So I don't think we should really get ahead of ourselves saying that, oh, the only other option left to start is Pelestri, because for all we know, Ten Hag can go in and start Martial, Rashford, and Rasmus. You understand what I mean?
Cool.
He
Cool.
can go ahead and start Garnacho, Rashford, and Rasmus. You understand? So with Pelestri, I don't think he's the obvious one to start in that first 11. If Anthony gets suspended, he still may fall in the pecking order because he has never been in favor of second choice coming off the bench, and he has relied on the other players before he has thought of bringing in Pelestri, same way we've seen with the defense with Harry Maguire. So as much as it makes sense, as much as we would love that, I still think we should be aware that Pelestri also has suffered the same fate of not being in Ten Hag's like favorable picks for matches, and that he could go with an alternate player in that position and completely have a different starting lineup than what we are predicting. So, but we cross our fingers and we hope that Pelestri will be given his chance, to prove himself. And again, it could be that situation of, you know, um, we think he's ready to start. We think like almost with the Garnacho thing, we've come to see that at this stage of his career, he's more impactful as coming on as a super sub rather than starting the 90 minutes. And maybe that's the way Ten Hag sees Pelestri. Maybe he also doesn't see him as a player that can start a full game, right? So we still may see Pelestri coming off the bench for an alternative player who's going to be taking Anthony's place, and then if he does start the games and he does well, all well and good. But we could also have a similar situation of thinking that he can start 90 minutes and do what we think he's capable of doing, but he's not yet at that stage. And I think the evidence in that is, Ten Hag not opting for him to start, especially like last season in other competitions where a lot of the other players we expected to get game time because they were not getting game time in the main competitions, still didn't get the game time because he just doesn't trust them, and that's what we're just assuming. Or maybe he's just seeing something in the training or whatever, and he just feels that, as much as the fan base think this, we know better because we're with these players every single day. Same thing with Donny van der Beek. We thought when Eric Ten Hag came to Manchester United, we're like, Eric has worked with Donny before. You know what I mean? A lot of the managers before him sidelined Donny, Ralph Rangnick, Ole. We thought Eric Ten Hag is coming. He knows Donny van der Beek is his boy, and we still never saw Donny van der Beek getting incorporated into that team. So yeah, man. I guess we just have to take it with a grain of salt and just see how things transpire.
You see, with Pelestri, the exciting thing about this situation is that the chances of him being part of the squads are very high now, based on the situation that's going on.
Yeah,
Like if like this, this is why I say they're gods. I'm telling you, if this kid is given an opportunity, he's going to show us something, and it's going to be difficult to ignore. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Because every
yeah,
time he comes on, like this is not a fairy tale. This is fact. And I think
yeah,
every Manchester United fan has seen it. It's not like nah, the kid comes in and does the job all the time. Literally like what Garnacho used to do, and literally what Mason Greenwood used to do coming on as a kid. He's literally
yeah,
doing that. I think he's ready. It would really shock the fan base if he's not used in any capacity in any way. But I do understand what you're saying, because yes, he's not the first pick. However, his chances of coming off the bench are higher now, and we're going to get a chance to see him do his thing with his bit part situation, because they can't send him on loan now, because there's
yeah.
really
It's too late.
like, man, Rashford is not ticking, guys. He's not
Yeah,
ticking. Garnacho, we're still yet to see something, but we know he's a coming off the bench kind of player. Like, he comes off the bench to cause havoc. And I think him and Palestri coming off together off the bench, I think it's something that's really, really sweet. Like, it's something that I'm
definitely.
fantasizing and trying, because they're kids, they're energetic. They know that they just need to
Yeah,
go there and cause trouble and
yeah,
get the ball in. And then you've got Rasmus there, we've got Martial, we've got Rashford doing that thing. Hey, like, it's
yeah,
good. Like, I'm happy. I'm excited. It's
yeah,
under very unfortunate circumstances because of Anthony's case, but
yeah,
this is an opportunity for the club now to look for different ideas, because look at the league right now. It's starting off
yeah,
slow for everybody. Even Man
yeah,
City. Man City, I've not even hit gear 2. Like, they're still, I don't know, maybe they're reversing. Everybody else is sort
bro.
of slowly, and we are part of that. So in this period of trying to find ourselves, I think, and with the situations that are going on, we need to figure out winning formulas.
Yeah,
Eric Ten Hag, yeah, he needs to come in there and sort things out, because bro, we
yeah,
can't deal with bombshell after bombshell after bombshell. Nah. The club
yeah.
can't.
No, I 100%. I agree with you. And you mentioning City right now, the only club before going into this international breaks, which are they're the only club which have won all 4 games. They're 4 for 4. So
Imagine.
even though they've got off to a slow start, they're still doing the bits.
Yeah. That's why I
Haaland
like
has
guy
gone
in
and scored his
reverse.
hat trick already. You know what I mean? So they've actually got off to a fine start, in all fairness. And but like I said, I know I said that was my last point, but this is actually going to be my last one. And
Okay.
I don't want people to think I'm not rooting for Pelestri, but I'm just seeing it as I see it.
Yeah.
I think, yes, this international break will need to come to a close real quick for Pelestri to get into that first team and really solidify his position, because we shouldn't forget there's also Ahmed, right? And Ahmed, in my opinion, is more preferred over Pelestri in Ten Hag's eyes. So, that could also be a thing of, as soon as Ahmed is fit,
Yeah. But
he
D,
will
I'm a
definitely be he will
nah.
definitely
Listen,
be up the pecking order ahead of
D,
Pelestri.
D, we're talking now. Ahmad is far.
Yeah, no, 100%, and I
That
agree with
problem,
you.
that
I
problem
agree
will
with you.
come. And
Yeah,
yes, yeah, you're right. It will come. But for now, anyway, I don't know. Like now you're putting doubts in my head, because now I'm now starting to think like,
no, fam, don't
maybe
doubt. I'm just laying
I am
out
the
all the
only
facts.
one. Maybe I'm the only one that's
No,
seeing what I'm seeing. I'm now trying to question myself, because I'm looking at it, and I follow Pelestri, and in the
yeah,
national team, bro, for Uruguay, he is doing the business, right? Like, he's starting
yeah,
games, he's coming off the bench, making changes, assist, and doing exactly what he does at United. It's
yeah.
really crazy to think that this guy is not getting game time at United. I'm baffled by that.
Yeah, no, I
But
I hear you, but
I get
I
it.
hear you, but
I
I'm
get
I'm
it.
I'm just trying to stay on the fence. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to stay on the fence. And again, like to your point, say they're young, they're hungry, but with young and hungry players, that they also comes a level of inexperience, and they may be a little bit too excited and do some things that could ultimately cost us a lot because they're so hungry to get out there and prove a point that they end up making careless mistakes, for the sole fact that they are young, they don't really have that experience, and they really want to go out there and do their thing. And like I said, I'm not trying to be negative, but
I feel you. I feel you.
I'm just trying to put it out there so that I don't want to give this false impression, to the fans and make them believe that Pelestri is just gonna hit the ground running and do all these amazing things, But we also have to consider the fact that he hasn't had a lot of game time in major competitions,
But
and
D, could you at least just acknowledge that the kid, when he comes on for you, every time you've seen him, just please, just tell me if I'm
bro,
wrong.
you're not wrong, and you're not wrong. And the thing is, I have said this in a previous episode that we recorded, and I did say that I want to see Pelestri on, and I gave you my reasons why. I told you that he does the three things that I think Agnew should be doing. He should be beating defenders, he should be running by the byline, and he should be, you know what I mean, hitting
Crossing the ball
balls
back
over
in.
the exactly. And for those three things, I've always said Pelestri should be starting ahead of Anthony. You understand? But that's all fan wishful thinking. You know what I mean? Like, but it doesn't translate to reality.
That's
So
true.
I'm going to speak what I want to happen, but speaking from experience and how things go, I want to give both sides of what could possibly happen. You know, yes,
Yeah.
we could get Pelestri to start, and trust me, Ben, I'll be over the moon as soon as that starting lineup comes up. I'm gonna hit you up with a screenshot and be like, "You are not going to believe who is starting, Bam." You know what I mean? I'm gonna be over the moon. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I don't want to set myself up for that excitement of, oh yes, after the international break, Pelestri starting lineup comes up, he doesn't start at the break. You understand what I mean? And now
United
I'm
has
here
wounded
questioning
you, man.
myself. It has. No, this club has
This
wounded
club
me,
has
fam. This
scarred you,
club,
my friend.
it
What
has
the
scarred me
hell?
so hard. I don't know what is.
La,
Like
la, la,
I
la,
feel
la,
like I feel like United just feed us psychedelics through you know the media and whatever they do, and they just make us live in this hallucinated world space where we just want to believe the obvious, and then it ends up transpiring in something else. I mean, look how excited the fan base got when we thought the Glazers were finally going to sell.
bro.
Just for them to drag us out the whole transfer window, and then for
For
them
them
to
to
come and say,
renege, yeah,
"Nah."
they
You
renege, man.
understand
They're
what?
like, nah,
You
son.
understand what I'm saying, fam? You
Ah,
understand what I'm saying? And that's just one incident. The other incident was the Greenwood thing. We're gonna give you our decision tomorrow. It got postponed to the following week. Got postponed to the following week. And they're like, "Now, not yet ready. We'll tell you tomorrow." And then we got
after the
ourselves we got
Women's
ourselves
World Cup.
hyped up because we honestly believed and thought Greenwood was gonna be back into the team
Yeah.
just for us to get our hearts broken. You understand what I mean? So again, I'm just saying, like United fans, don't get me wrong. I want Pelestri to start, but I'm just saying, spare yourself that doctor
Protect your
visit.
heart.
Protect your heart. You know what I mean? This club will shank you. Blindside you and shank you so hard in the ass. So just be prepared for something else to happen. But yeah, man, I think on my end, that's all I have to say about the matter. I don't know if you got any last remarks that you want to put through.
No. That that's it, man. Like
Yeah,
no, like I'm excited. I won't lie to
yeah,
you. That's the thought of Pelestri getting game time. It's sad sometimes he gets put in these games that are like sort of difficult to come back from. Like
yeah,
the manager has exhausted all his plans. He's just chucking in players because we've had those games. And then you just get to see Palestri come on. And then he comes on, and then there's that spark. And then you'll be like, there's that glimpse of hope and like, wow. Then you start to wonder, why didn't he come on earlier? Like, why didn't they
yeah,
bring him on 80 minutes? Because they brought him on 87. Why didn't they bring him
yeah,
on 75?
yeah,
Like those, man,
yeah,
it's painful to see. Like we experienced that even with Greenwood. Like during that all the time, I was crying
Oh,
out for Greenwood. I
oh,
was like,
man.
guys, let this
Oh,
kid start and let him
yeah,
handle his business. Nah,
exactly.
they were just putting in those guys. I don't know who was in the club at that time. Like it was weird times. Weird time. I even
Yeah,
forgot.
it was weird
Strange, strange
times.
time.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
was just not working. Not working
yeah,
at all. And it's just like, and then when Greenwood comes on, belter, banger,
yeah.
banger. And it's like,
It,
hey,
it, it, it was those days of what's his name? What's his name? Something James something. The kid that we got from Swansea.
Dan James, the
Dan
speedster.
James, yes, 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 yes. It was
Hey,
the Dan James era, fam. It was, man,
you
it
can
was
imagine.
something else, fam. It was
Ah,
something else.
but no, man, it's all
But
good.
yeah,
It's really unfortunate that we are in this situation as United fans. It's really stressful because you keep thinking, what's going to happen with the club? What's going to
yeah,
do this? You know what? I think the best thing is to kind of like block out this other stuff that doesn't affect the football. You know, we are going
yeah,
to try and keep it in football. We will try and bring you the latest news that comes up, but we always want to bring you back to the football. We've got some
yeah,
very exciting episodes coming up for you guys, solo episodes. Mudenda will be talking about, D will be talking about what he thinks, his thoughts on our strikers, like what we're probably gonna get from them. You know, Martial v Rasmus Højlund. I am going to calm your nerves and talk about Erik ten Hag and like give you a detailed plan of everything that he has done and what he continues to do. And I know some of you think that Erik ten Hag is two-faced because he has a reputation of saying one thing and then saying the other thing. So I'm gonna calm your nerves and try and put you at ease and let you know that we need to trust this manager. And
yeah,
yeah, we've got exciting episodes for you guys coming up in this international break. So don't be worried. We got you guys. We got you. We've got fantasy coming up. Hey, I'm sorry about fantasy. That's another topic, but yeah, we'll get there.
that's another topic.
And yeah, we'll just bring you the latest on Man United, the club that we love. Remain calm. Everything is good. It's not that bad yet, but the
Yeah,
exciting things coming up. Amrabat, there's some strange reports coming up that he's got a slight back injury. We'll talk more about that in the other episodes. But he's there. He's gonna be wearing number 4, bruh. I have a question for you. I actually forgot, and I didn't even want to Google it. But who
yeah.
is wearing number Jones? Ah, Phil Jones.
Philip Jones.
Bruh, I was cracking my head thinking, who used to wear number 4? I was
Yeah,
like, I started going back. I was like, nah, really,
yeah,
5. Who will 4? Who will? It's just hitting me
yeah,
right now. I wanted to ask you this question. So yeah,
yeah,
he'll be donning the number 4. I think it suits him. And
yeah,
oh yeah, Eric Bays gone to Besiktas.
yeah, yeah. Done, done.
How much did they sell him for?
I can't remember that figure.
Mm.
But yeah, we'll definitely touch on it on another episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be keeping an eye on Eric Baye as well. Not as much, but personally,
Yeah,
I know his brother. Like I met
yeah,
him in China, so like I feel connected. You know what I mean? I mean, he doesn't know me,
yeah,
but I know his brother, and his brother's good people. So yeah,
yeah,
man. And he posted something, and we used to chat a little bit. Man, I felt good. I felt really connected to the club because the guy was there.
yeah,
But I'll be keeping an
yeah,
eye on him and Mason Greenwood, of course. And yeah, man. Yeah, we've got
yeah.
good stuff coming up. Yeah, D, take it away,
100%.
man.
Yeah, so thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Glory Reds podcast. You can catch us on all your favorite streaming platforms on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Caster, Amazon Music. Be sure to follow, like, subscribe, leave your comments in the description down below. Get involved in the conversation. Don't forget to visit our website. We've got amazing articles there as well. We've got a community page where you can go and join our WhatsApp group so you can continue this conversation that we have on a daily basis. We also have a Premier League fantasy group that's out there that we keep forgetting to mention. So feel free to join the league. The link is also, I'm going to actually post it on the on the website, on the community page. I actually haven't done it, so I'm actually going to do that today. So you guys can go to the website, check it out. The website link is always in the description of the podcast. In case you guys don't know what the URL is, you can find it there, and then you can go and join all our platforms where we are also at. But thanks again, once again, guys, for listening to this podcast episode, and catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.